All right. Hey, everyone. Mark here. Mark P Markets. Thank you for joining me for another Bitcoin, actually, another video analysis session. I don't want to say Bitcoin because it's not in the title today, but we'll talk about that in a minute. Welcome. If you're new to the stream, let me give you a quick idea of how this works. And by the way, sorry for the delay. I appreciate you guys' patience for sticking around. All right. So here's how this works. First, what I'm going to do is the economic calendar, as I normally do, right? So we are aware of any type of important economic events that may be coming out during the week. Second, is usually where I go over my analysis of a chart, but I want to try something new today, all right? Because this is my thing. And you guys in the chat, give me feedback on this because I want to make something that's going to be productive for everyone. What I want to do is jump right into the trade signals, right? So instead of talking about Bitcoin for 20 minutes like I normally do, which is basically reiterating the analysis that I published yesterday on TradingView. You know, most of you read that anyway, so it's like it's not the best use of our time, especially since I want to find signals. And 3 o'clock my time, 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. is better in terms of volume relative to 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. By the time I get to that, after all the things that I talk about, I'm looking for trades after 4 p.m. Eastern time. Now, why this is important is because, as I mentioned in my previous stream, what I'm going to do, and I'm probably going to get that started this week, is I'm going to open up a Bybit account using the link in the description. Yes, I'm going to use Stian's affiliate link, and I'm going to deposit $1,000 into that account. It's going to be real. And I'm going to trade that account here on the stream. And the goal will be to get that account from $1,000 to $2,000. And I'm going to document every trade on a live stream. So I can't play any fake guru tricks, you know, like the ones where they record, they have two accounts, right? One is long and one is short. And then whichever one wins, that's the one that they upload after the fact and talk about that one. No, not going to be doing that here. I'm going to live stream every trade, and I'm going to use the Trade Scanner Pro to accomplish this, right? So the goal is going to be to get my Bybit account from $1,000 to $2,000 using the Trade Scanner Pro, and we're going to focus specifically on Ethereum futures, right? And what I will do is I will make a video that explains like all the parameters and how the Trade Scanner Pro works and all that stuff, so that when we begin to stream, I could jump right into the trades, right? And if someone says, well, how does this work and blah, 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 I'll just say there's a link in the description and you can watch a video that explains the whole deal so that they can get up to speed, and I don't have to spend time on the stream explaining how the Trade Scanner Pro works and all that other stuff that I do every week. Does that kind of make sense to you guys? So I think it's a better use of all of our time to just jump right into the trades. Because what you guys agree? I see Sean agrees. Hey, Sean, good to see you. We got Alex from Romania. It's good to see you, Alex. Alex is my only Romanian guy watching me from back when I used to be famous in Romania. I've got Stian, of course. Hey, Stian, good to see you. And Stian is the guy that makes this possible, because without Stian, there's no Trade Scanner Pro or Trade Scanner Bot or a website or nothing. So, you know, always good to see Stian. And James, good to see you. All right, so you guys, so you think that's a good idea? I want to jump straight to the trades, right? So on Monday, what I'll do is I'm going to go over the economic calendar because that's important, but that takes like 5 minutes. And then we're going to go straight to the trades. Now, if people have questions about Bitcoin analysis or something like that, and we have a slow market, sure, I'll take the time to answer a few of those things. But the emphasis will be on the trades, all right? And then we will watch how I can grow the $1,000 account to a $2,000 account. Now, right now, I'm still on the practice account, okay? So we're going to do it with the practice account. And like I said, all the trades in that real account will be done on a live stream. Now, I'm not going to just trade on Mondays. Obviously, I will trade on other days as well. And the time, though, is not going to be 3 o'clock. It may just be some random time, whatever's convenient for me and whatever's convenient for the market. Right? Whatever looks good. I may just pop on a stream at 8 p.m. at night or something like that, my time. But it'll be documented. It'll be a live stream so people can see the trades win or lose in real time. All right. Anyway, that's the goal. All right. So I plan to get that going over the next week or so. But for now, we're going to do it on the practice account. All right, so let's first get into, before I get into the trade stuff, let's just talk about the economic calendar real quick. So we have some important things this week. All right, beginning with tomorrow, I believe is Tuesday. We have, is it tomorrow or I think it's Wednesday? We have CPI, right? The CPI report that usually comes out at 8:30 a.m. Eastern time. That's an important number. It's an inflationary number. The Fed looks at it and it can move markets. So you want to be aware of that number. CPI report. It can set the tone for the entire day. And usually going into that number, markets can act a little funky, right? Kind of like they are today. So also on that day, we have Bank of Canada. We have their rate announcement. So that can affect Forex pairs, especially if you're in any CAD cross pairs. You want to be aware of that, right? So Bank of Canada. On Thursday, we have the ECB, European Central Bank. We have their rate announcement. We also have the Swiss National Bank rate announcement. A lot of rate announcements this week. So Forex may be somewhat busy, if you're in these Forex pairs. But if there's nothing new going on, you may not get big movements. Just be aware of these numbers, right? That's on Thursday. Then on Friday, we have the PPI, which is the Producer Price Index. And that's sort of an important number, not as important as CPI. I believe that number also comes out at 8:30 a.m. Eastern time. Double check on that one because there are numbers that occasionally come out at 10 a.m. and 10:30. Just be aware of that. And that's pretty much it. Next week, we have the FOMC meeting, right? So that's going to be something in and of itself. But those are the numbers this week. So be aware of those. And that's that. Let's move along. By the way, if you're interested in the Trade Scanner Pro, there's a link in the description. You can try it for 14 days for free. That's all I'm going to say about it right now. And I'm not going to explain how it works, right? I'm going to make a video for that. So if you want to know how it works, watch previous week's video and I explain it there. Let's get into the charts now, shall we? I'm going to make the charts bigger so you don't have to see my big head. All right, let's do this. And right now I have Bitcoin on. I mean, you can see what's going on with Bitcoin. All right, I'm not going to get into it. Don't get me started. But I have the wave count on this chart, as you can see. And I'm suspecting that we are in the fifth of a fifth wave. And if this is correct, that's all I'm going to say about this. If this is correct, this completes a gigantic wave 3. If this is correct. And if that's the case, then we are going into a gigantic wave 4. And wave 4s aren't necessarily, they're usually range-bound type markets. They're usually consolidation type, but we're talking about a magnitude of time. It can go on for 6 months, something like that. That's why all these people that are all excited about, oh, Bitcoin going to 200K. I don't know about now. Okay. Hey, Malad. Oh, cool. You got the email, right? Yeah, I hope you got the email. Yeah, the CMT Association is having their holiday party in New York City next week. And I sent out an email with the link to register. It's free. So if anyone here is from New York and they want to go to that, it's on Stone Street at Beckett's. It starts at 6 p.m. If you send me an email, Mark P Markets, Mark P Markets, and I'll send you the link. You have to register for it. Cool. So there should be. I invited the TradingView guys. So they may some TradingView guys may actually show up, which would be cool too. So it should be fun. Anyway, yeah. So that's what I have to say about Bitcoin. If you have any questions, guys, just ask me questions as we go along. Let's jump into Ethereum because that's what today's goal is. So first thing I'm going to do is, hold on, let me go to my, all right. So you can see I'm on paper, right? I'm on the paper trade account. Let's just take a look at the paper trade account real quick, right? So if you look at the account, my P&L it's up a little bit from where it was on the previous week because I placed a couple of trades on the practice account because I was just experimenting with some stuff. So you can see I'm still a little bit up, right? But we're starting out here today at $1,327, $1,327. This is a practice account, and I started it at $1,000, right? I reset it for $1,000. So you can see like the account history here and stuff like that. And I have it set to calculate some form of commission, so that there's some sort of payment. I don't know if it's accurate to MEXC, but that's what's going on there. Okay, so we'll see how that turns out at the conclusion of the stream. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to change this chart. Right, I'm going to change these charts. I'm going to day trade Ethereum, which means I need to work with smaller time frames. Right, so I'm going to switch this here to a 1 hour chart. We're going to go to a 1 hour time frame. Okay. And I'm going to change this to Ethereum. And we're going to do this on MEXC though, right? I like to use MEXC just because whatever, because it's one of Stian's affiliate links. Ethereum, right? Ethereum, and then we want the perp. Okay. But when I do this with the real account, it's going to be on Bybit. All right. So here's MEXC. Now, so here's Ethereum. As you can see, it's pretty much, where is it? Okay, hold on. I was going to say pretty much following Bitcoin, right? But that was the Bitcoin chart. So Ethereum perp. Okay, and I want MEXC. Okay, there we go. I mean, it looks very similar to the Bitcoin chart. I mean, look at these two charts together, right? Here's Ethereum. This is Bitcoin on this side. They almost look identical. This is the 1 hour. This is actually the 15-minute. We're going to change. This is the 1 hour. I'm going to change this one over here to Ethereum also. Perp, right? Perp means perpetual futures. Ethereum perp, right? And I'm going to MEXC. Okay. And as you can see on this chart here, I have the Trade Scanner Pro. It's on. We'll talk about that here in a minute. One thing I have to mention this. We're working with, Stian is working on a very important update for the Trade Scanner Pro. I gave him all the instructions. We had a meeting about the whole thing. And we're going to make a very important upgrade. So all of you who have it, you're going to get, when we push the upgrade, you're going to get this automatically. All right, but I just want to explain what we're doing. We're going to make it a little more intuitive and user-friendly. For one, I'm putting more stringent filters into it to clean up a lot of those random trades. That's one thing. But the other thing that we're going to do is we're going to make it more visually intuitive. So for example, see like we have up here, it says trend is bearish, that little box. Instead of having that box, what we're going to do is we're going to color the candles to give you a color code to let you know that the trend is bearish. We're also going to have a color code for when the trend is sort of bearish but changing. Like, you know, when it says conflict up there, well, we're going to have a visual color for that. We're going to remove that box, take that away, and we're going to just give the chart intuitive colors. So a bullish mode is going to be lime green. Not so bullish mode, but like, I guess you could say conflicted bullish mode, whatever you want to call that possibly changing. It'll be like a variation of green. It'll be another green color. It'll still be green, but it's changing. If it gets into like sort of a bearish mode, but not fully bearish, it'll be like a pink color, right? But then it gets into bear mode, it'll be red. Like, well, I'll have instructions on that, but my point is, I think that's much more intuitive and much easier on the eye, especially for the beginner, to have a better feel for what's going on based on the momentum on the time frame you're working with, right? On top of that, there will be filters so that when signals pop up and you have the right color code, it should also instill another degree of confidence that you may not have right now. All right, cool. All right, so I just wanted to mention that. And we have a few other things coming in that upgrade as well. And when I have the upgrade and I can show it to you, I'll lay it all out and you'll understand what's going on. All right, but it's really cool, and Stian is doing some amazing work. Now, what I'm going to do here is on this, see, I have the Trade Scanner Pro turned off on this side, on this chart. Okay, hold on a second. And the reason why I have it turned off, hold on, I can't see what's going on here. Okay, there we go. The reason why I have that turned off is because I don't want to have confusion. Okay, sometimes you may see a signal on both time frames, and that can be confusing. What we want to do with this right now is we want to use the larger time frame to get a sense of what's going on in terms of context, so I can align with the smaller time frame. I can align the smaller time frame with the larger one. Now, again, I understand this may be much for people to consume, especially for a beginner. So we're also going to build it in where you don't have to do that anymore. But right now, you still have to do it. Okay. So hold on. Let me just adjust something here, and we'll be able to. We're going to start looking for some trades. Okay. By the way, if you want to try out the Trade Scanner Pro, like I said, there's a link in the description. You can try it out for 14 days for free. All right. And okay, hold on. And you can see, I would recommend that you paper trade. You paper trade that. Okay. Using what you learn here on these streams. These streams are you can think of these streams as sort of like a tutorial type of situation. You can also ask questions. All right. I can see the chat here. All right, you guys. Okay, cool. So first thing, when the Trade Scanner Pro, when you get this thing, the settings are usually off. We're going to change that so that the settings are on, but they're not on right now. When you get it, you got to turn them on. So trailing stop, show previous trade, and heads up. Right, we're going to turn those on right now. Okay, I'm not going to explain all that because I do that on every stream. I think most of you are familiar with that. If you're not, go back to my previous stream on the YouTube channel and I explain it there. All right, but I'm going to make a video specifically just for that so that I don't have to keep repeating that. So I'm not going to repeat that now. All right, so let's talk about context. Okay. And if you guys have any questions along the way, feel free to ask. So here's what we got here, right? Right now, let's zoom out on this hourly chart. I got the hourly chart that I'm moving right now because I want to get a sense of what's going on, right? We had this bullish movement on the hourly. Now, why am I using the hourly? Because I'm looking to day trade. So I don't need to look at the daily. I don't need to look at larger time frames. An hourly is adequate for day trades. I'm taking my day trades, by the way, on a 1-minute chart. This is a 15-minute chart. I'm interested in a 1-minute chart. I just changed it to a 1-minute. Okay, 1-minute chart. So my hourly gives me a bigger picture perspective. And I want to get a sense of two things: momentum, or we can basically refer to that as trend or momentum, and levels, support and resistance levels. Now, we can break up trend in a number of ways here. But what I'm interested for this situation, what I am interested in is this price action here, okay? Because why? The trend was bullish, right? This trend, higher lows and higher highs on this time frame, it was bullish until this point right here, right? Actually, we can say it a little earlier. There was a support here. You see that? And it broke. We see this now after the fact. It broke. Not only that, but it tested that support again. It became a resistance, and we're making lower lows. That's all I need to know. I don't need to know anything else for day trades, right? So I want to know other support levels to be aware of. So we can just put those on the chart with some horizontal lines. Those are old resistance levels, right? So we're fooling around off of a support right now, a minor support. And on our 1-minute chart, it looks like we had a reaction off of there. All right, interesting. So we're not on the support, but we kind of had a reaction off of it. I want to be aware of that, right? But the thing is, my general momentum right now is bearish, right? Lower highs, lower lows, and we're fooling around near a support. I suspect that this support will break, okay? Unless it proves otherwise, I suspect it will break because the general momentum is bearish. Remember, these are minor supports. This isn't like a support on a daily time frame or anything. It's just it's an hourly support. So I would expect it to hold if the trend was generally bullish or the momentum was bullish, but it's not. So I suspect it to break. And I suspect that resistance levels are more likely to hold if we are at any. Here's an old support, potential resistance right there, right? So these are all the levels I'm going to work with right now for day trades. But my point is this. So this is my context. That's all I need to know to make adequate decisions. The Trade Scanner Pro is going to guide me from here. So remember, the Trade Scanner Pro right now is more of a confirmation tool and an order management tool. It's not a forecasting tool, but it helps me confirm an idea, right? And my idea right now is momentum is bearish. So it tells me it's bearish. I want to trade on the bearish side. We have what looks like a lower high developing here, but I have no signal. So what I'm going to do is I'm pretty much done with my hourly chart. I don't need to look at that anymore, right? Because I have my idea. By the way, these red dots, those are previous trades, right? And if you roll over one, it tells you the result. This was a profit of 13.5 points. Nice. All right. And you can look at each one of these. These red columns are heads up. Heads up lets you know that a signal is coming soon, in the next 3 to 5 candles usually. And that's how that helps you prepare for a signal. By the way, you can use the free version of TradingView to use this script, and you can set notifications. But when you use the free version of TradingView, you can only set one notification at a time. I'm not going to set notifications here. I don't need to. We're looking for day trades, right? So I'm going to sit in front of the computer and look for trades. But when you're using like a 15-minute chart or something like that, it helps to use notifications. All right. So when I have this situation where the market is behaving as I would anticipate, right? Lower high, bearish. Okay, cool. I'd like to go short, but there's no signal, right? The signal, as we know, shows up in the form of order suggestions. I don't see any here. So you know what I have to do, guys, right? When I have this situation, I usually have to go to a smaller time frame. So I can go to, let's take a look at a 30-second chart. Let's see if there's any signal there. There might be. Anything there? No, we had a warning, but no signal. All right, no problem. Let's check the 15-second chart. Now, these sub 1 minute charts, there's probably no signal there either. These sub 1 minute charts are only available on the most expensive version of TradingView. So if you're like a beginner or you don't have the most expensive version, you're not going to be able to look at a 30-second or a 15-second. But what you can learn from this is if you're working with a 15-minute chart, for example, and there's no signals, but the market is moving, you'll know to check a 5-minute chart, or you could check a 3-minute chart, or maybe even a 1-minute chart, right? To get more granular to find a signal, right? This is when you have to actively look. If you don't want to actively look, this is why you would set up notifications, because TradingView will send you a notification when a signal appears. It'll even send you a notification when a heads up appears so you can prepare. All right. Now, this is a 15-second chart. These charts are very erratic and they're very noisy and they're very hard to trade. So I don't recommend these for beginners, but I will show this so that I can not only demonstrate the script, but we'll see if we can make something of it. Okay. So I'm going to go to the trade panel here. I like to use the trade panel. You know, you can trade straight from the chart. You can set it up to have like the order buttons on the chart. But I like to use the order ladder because that's what I'm used to using, right? So as you can see on my order ladder, I'm set for 10 contracts because 10 contracts is adequate for Ethereum futures, assuming I'm using 100-to-1 leverage or something like that. If I'm using a $1,000 account and I'm using 100-to-1 leverage, which is what I plan to be using, 10 contracts is only $30,000 value, right? So I can easily afford that. You may say, well, that's a lot of leverage. Yeah, it is. But that's the whole point of being a day trader, right? To capitalize on leverage. Leverage can also hurt you. So you have to understand it very well. I understand it very well. So I know what I'm doing with it. There are certain rules that you have to keep in mind, like which I'll explain in my video when I make my video. But no overnights are allowed in this account. No overnights. Because I'm using leverage. And since I'm working on such small time frames, if I hold on to an overnight, my risk goes from minuscule to gigantic, right? Because I'm now going from a day trade time frame to, you know, who knows how big that risk is. And when you have size in that situation, that's how you wipe out accounts. All right. So, man, this thing is moving and I have no signals. And I'm on a 15-second chart. Let's check a 5-second chart. Any questions, you guys? The 5-second, anything here? Let's see. Nothing here. Wow, look, it even gave some longs back here. See, one thing with the Trade Scanner Pro right now, the trend on these small time frames changes a lot. And we're actually making an adjustment to that so that it doesn't change constantly like that. It's going to be, like I said, there are going to be stronger filters. There are also going to be less trade signals as a result of that, but there's nothing we can do. It's either one or the other. It's lots of signals and a lot of noisy random ones, or a lot less signals but more reliable ones, right? Those are the only two choices. So I'm not going to trade a 5-second chart, right? This gets ridiculous. So we're going to I'll work with a 30-second. Let's just work with the 30-second. Let's see if something comes up here eventually. Maybe something develops. Now notice we're sitting right on the support, right? We're sitting right on it. So a situation may develop here where we get a counter trend setup. It's very possible. We have a double bottom. See that? We have a nice green candle off of that support line, which we just drew in advance. Now, if I want to get signals there, I have to go to counter trend mode. And again, we're likely to get a signal here, okay, on counter trend mode, which I'll take. Yes, I just turned it on for that reason. Typically, you want to use counter trend mode at support or resistance levels. There it is. There's a signal. So I'm going to buy 10. All right, I'm long 10 contracts. So keep in mind, it's a 30-second chart, not the most reliable, and it's a counter trend signal, which can be lower probability. We'll see how this trade works out. We also, what I do like about it is we do have the double bottom here. So it helps if you understand some basic technical analysis, right? The double bottom is certainly a good sign, but keep in mind, I'm fighting the momentum. The general momentum is bearish. So I'm fighting that, right? And that's an important aspect because supports should generally break in this environment, and I'm going against that, right? But I have the double bottom. There are a couple of signs there. Now, keep in mind, when I take trades like this, and I will be doing this with real money. This is not real money right now, but I'm trying to simulate as close as I can to real money. A lot of times I will take profits earlier. As you can see, the Trade Scanner Pro has defined my risk, and it's given me a profit objective, which is within reason on a 30-second chart. This is, as long as I respect those orders, this is what keeps me out of trouble so that I don't stay in something longer than I should. Like, for example, if it goes against me and I don't take the stop and I say, oh, I'll just hold on to it overnight, it'll come back. And that's when I open myself up to huge risk. This tells me this is what your risk should be. This is it right here. If it goes there, you get out, you take the loss, right? And that risk is how much? 14, we'll say 15 points. All right, 15 points. All right, that's within reason. It's not 150 points. It's not 500 points. It's 15 points. I shouldn't lose more than that, right? But I have to manually get out if I'm wrong. My profit objective is going to be 1.5 times that. That's how this is generated. Now, it may not get there because, this is very erratic. I'm fighting the trend, all that other stuff. So I heard a legendary trader. I was watching an interview, and he's a real guy. He's not a YouTuber. And he manages billions of dollars. Okay. He's one of those guys, but he came from, he doesn't trade like that now, but he came from, being a day trader type of environment. And an interesting thing that he said was when they were interviewing him, and he said, when they hire people, they hire portfolio managers. He says, do you want to be right or do you want to make money? Right. And he says, people who want to be right lose a lot of money because dealing with the market, it's not about being right. Right. It's about managing risk. So I thought that was a very interesting thing that he said. Okay. Speaking of being right and not being right, I may have to bang this out. But that's the point that I was getting to, was taking profits early, because I'm not looking to be right. I'm just looking to make money. All right. And that's the thing. So that means having an open mind and adjusting. So if this thing wants to give me a hard time, because remember, I'm fighting a bearish market here. And I don't like doing this, but we gave it a try, right? If it goes to the stop, I'm going to respect it. If I get another long signal in that same vicinity, I'll try it again if I get it. But we'll see. Otherwise, I'll be looking for shorts. Okay. So we'll give this a chance here. That's why we have the stop. Now, but the point is, do you want to be right or do you want to make money? A lot of people want to be right, right? So they're always focused on being right, and they want accuracy and this and that, whatever. That's not, playing that game is ineffective because the market is always right. So you're basically fighting the market right from the start by trying to be right. The goal is to make money, right? And part of making money is knowing how to lose money. Right? And losing money happens all the time, like this. I'm going to have to bang this out. How much am I losing here? $122. Okay, well, I'm not banged out yet. But here's the thing about this. All right, see? All right, so far, so good. It's keeping me in. We'll see if this candle can close green and give me get me back to break even here. Let's see. Haven't reacted to it yet. One important goal on this account or one important parameter on this account. Again, this is the practice account, but on the real account is I will have a daily loss limit of $200. All right, that's 20% of the account. So that means if I'm in the market, whatever, I'm taking trades, and I'm going to do this on the live stream, and I lose $200, I have to stop. Right? That's an important rule that I'm putting on this game here, because if you don't have something like that, you can wipe out the account. And trust me, I've done it many times. Okay. Yeah. So that's why, like in situations like this, right, you have to respect that. If you don't, that $200 loss can turn into a $500 loss, turn into a $1,000 loss, right? And then the account is wiped out because I'm only going to use $1,000. Many times, like when I've been in these situations, if you're minus a certain amount, right? If you look at your history over time, you say, well, because I always, one of my biggest bad habits would be trying to come back from it. Like, oh, I'm minus $500, I'm minus $600. I'm going to make it back, right? How many times do I actually make it back versus losing more? And if you look at that over time, I may make it back like once or twice out of 10 times, right? So if that's the case, then it's not worth trying to make back. All right, I'm going to have to bang this out. Bang out time. Once it reaches that stop, the trade will vanish off the chart. And then I can bang it out. All right, bang it out. Okay. Let's see what happens. I want to switch back to trend mode or regular mode, right? I'm going to get out of counter trend. Now remember, that was a risky trade. There was no trade. Look, there was no short trade up there either, interestingly enough, okay, on the 30-second chart. So back to counter trend mode. We may get another signal here. This would be the third. If this support does not break, this will be the third time, right? If this support does not break. So let's see. Now, I'd be happy to take a short signal, but there are no short signals. There's the signal. Now, here's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to just pile into that. I'm not going to jump into that, especially since as soon as the signal appears, I get a red candle. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give it sort of a criteria. Like I want to see price at least break some kind of level here, like something. Let's see if price can make it back up there or something. If I'm going to start taking longs on these counter trends, I want to see something like this. Break that, right? Prove that you're strong. This right here, there's no reason to buy this. So you see, like I got the signal, but I know enough to stay out of it. You see how that works? And again, remember, I'm fighting the momentum here. This is not like a bullish trend that I'm buying. I'm buying this bearish momentum, which is going to be hard. It's going to be harder to do, right? And I don't want to keep taking stop losses, right? So let's go to my my account here, and let's see where I'm at. Minus, what is that? 145. So I lost 145 on that. So theoretically, I'm only allowed to lose like $50 more. So I can reduce my contract size. Instead of 10, I can go to 5 contracts. In fact, I think I'll do that. I'll go to 5 contracts because what if I'm wrong on the second one, right? So I need to make some money back before I can go back to 10. So let's see what happens here. Now, again, I'm doing this on paper because we want to see like how this plays out, but I plan to be doing this with real money. So you're going to see like how I'm making decisions, what my thinking is, and it'll all be on a live stream. Okay, so this trade is no good. Look, good thing I stayed out of that one. Momentum is bearish. All right, no problem. So these trades, no good. Let's check something out here on this bearish momentum. Let's go back to trend mode. Okay, let's go to. I'm on a 30-second. So let's go to a 5-second. I'm just curious. Are we getting bearish signals? No sell signals, not even on the 5-second chart. Wow. I'm not going to a 1-second. That would just be stupid. I'm not doing that. How about a 15-second? I'm just curious. Any signals? No signals. No signals on that whole move, right? Because it's not reversing high. It's not pulling back enough. because remember the Trade Scanner Pro looks for pullbacks. In fact, like I said, when we make our update on the script, what we're going to do is we're going to change some of the criteria for counter trend mode versus trend mode. What just happened here? I got like a skip on the price. That's weird. It like jumped without even giving me a candle. Okay. That's what happens when you're on these small time frames. I guess it skipped the data point there. Yeah, look at that. Interesting. That's quite a reversal. So what I'm going to do with that is if this stays intact and I get another signal to go along, I'm going to try it again. That's much more appealing than just pushing. Oh, there is a signal there. Okay, I'm not going to take it yet since we got the red candle right away on this 30-second. Hold on, let's wait. So here's what's happening here. Let it stop out, no problem. Notice, again, I was able to stay out of that just using observations. These signals are not working, but we're clustering in this area, right? We're hesitating here. We had an attempted bounce over here. We had an attempted bounce over here. Okay, now it's breaking. We had an attempted bounce over here, but now it's breaking a bit. All right, no problem. I'm not in it. We're getting all these warnings. Let's see if I could find my next support. Let's go to the hourly chart. Wow, what a break. So I don't really see anything. We're sort of inside of this area right here. Look, we're sort of in here. See that? That may cause that may be a possible support area, that type of consolidation. So if I see the right thing, we'll see if I can take the counter trend. But as you can see how problematic it is, right? I took one of them, it failed. A couple more trades appeared, and they all stopped out. Now, again, I'm on a 30-second chart. Let's take a look at the 1 minute. Anything here? This is a failed low situation on the 1 minute. Okay. Oh, there was a 1 minute signal. Okay, I'm taking this for 5 contracts. I saw something on the 1 minute pop up. Yeah, there's a 1 minute. All right, so I'm going to work with the 1 minute. I took the 5 contracts. Let's see if this one helps. Now, one thing I would like to see in this situation, that would be nice, is a break of this high over here. If the market can get back up there and break this high, that would be a good sign for this. Okay, because this is a lower high right here. So again, it helps if you understand price structure a bit. We're trying to shape the tool so that you don't have to be so experienced, but it helps. How can experience not help? It's hard to teach 25 years of experience, though, you know, in a 1 hour stream. But I see the lower high, and if we can break it, if we can break that, that would tell me, at least on this time frame, that the momentum may be changing, and that's a good sign if I'm long, right? So let's see if we also, in this situation, we also may get the higher low, right? Another sign I would like to see, because we have the failed low. If we get the higher low, that would also be a nice thing. If I see that, where we get like a red candle followed by a green candle going back through this entry line, I'm going to erase this blue line here so we don't get confused. But we know that there's some kind of support in this area, right? And we're trying to basically react in the area. If I get the higher low, that may justify me at putting on my second 5 contracts, right? Because I only have 5 contracts on right now. I took the smaller position. I'm trying to simulate this as if this was real. Right? And if this was real, I wouldn't be putting on 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 contracts. You know, oh, it's fake. I mean, sure, you could do that when it's fake, when there's nothing at stake. But when it's real and you're losing money, you know, you have to manage that in reality. So I want to illustrate that here, even though this is not real money. I'm treating this like it's real. Okay, so let's see if we get the higher low. Now, if we get the higher low and we break this high, that would be the higher low to the higher high if we do that. Now, notice, I'm not forecasting anything. I'm just saying everything is an if. I'm open to what the market wants to do, right? If we go back to the stop, I'm going to have to bang it out. All right. So now at this point, I'm basically like at my $200 loss limit. So if this stops me out, I'm going to have to stop, right? And we're going to have to just watch the market. I'm not going to continue to trade. So let's see how that goes. And look, and you know what? That's going to happen. I'm telling you right now, it's going to happen. So let's see if we can take that out. So hopefully what you're learning here is like the mindset, and you're seeing this in action. I'm taking counter trend trades in a market that I told you right from the start, we're going to be fighting, right? We're taking counter trend trades in something that's generally bearish, but I'm not getting signals on the other side. So I have a couple of choices here. I can try these aggressive counter trend trades, which I'm trying. Probably one good idea in these situations would be, instead of going full size, like 10 contracts, I should start out with smaller size, like 2 or 3 contracts, since I'm taking lower probability setups to begin with, because I'm fighting the trend, right? So it would probably make sense to take 1 or 2 contracts, right? So if I'm wrong like this, it's like, all right, you know, I don't go to my loss limit in 2 trades. And I take my normal size when I'm with the trend. So if I had a short signal here, which I don't have, or if I had, you know, if I was in a bullish market and I was taking longs, then you know, it makes sense to go with the full size. So that might be another rule. Well, that is another rule that I will employ, especially when I'm using the real money. Okay. You notice I keep getting those warning candles, right? Because it's like another signal's trying to develop in there, but we're not going to get overlapping signals, right? See the warning right there? Because the signal is open, we're not going to get a new signal until this closes. I think it's more important to see how you're managing the risk and losses more than the win. Well, that's true. That's true. It is true, Sean. Like, managing the losses is really the whole key to the whole thing. You know, losing sucks, but if you keep your losses manageable, yes, the wins are, when you have a win, sure, it's easy to manage a win. Everyone likes to see a win, but you don't learn anything from winning trades, really. You know, and they're easy because they just go your way, and you make money and you feel good about yourself and all this and all that, and that's it, right? It's the losing trades that actually teach you lessons. So what I'm doing here is very simple, right? I'm respecting the orders. I don't like to see these red candles, but I have a stop. That's what the stop is for. Okay, so it helps me to be more objective. If I had no stop, these red candles would be more likely to shake me out, because, oh, this thing's going lower. I'm going to, not only I'm going to get out, I'm going to go short. And now look, right? If I shorted this right in my face. Now look, so I like that. I like going back to the entry. Can we get a candle close? Let's see, what time is it? All right, we still have a little time. We have about 20 seconds. That candle can still close red, believe it or not. So again, this is a 1 minute time frame, so let it close. Nice double bottom. I like it. After the failed low, we never took the stop out, back to the entry price. I'm going to add my second 5 contracts. All right, here we go. So we got a couple more seconds. I wait for the candle to close. Oh, see that? See that? See how that candle turned into a tail? Good thing I hadn't pressed the button. So now let's see if it can recover that. If it can recover that. I like the higher, I like the double bottom situation there. I like that. I want to see this thing go back to the blue line, and then I'll add the second 5. I'm going to be prepared to buy them. I'll move this out of the way. Haven't bought them yet. You can see my order window here. Okay. If that thing closes red, I hold off. So you see, like, how I'm not just in a hurry to add my, you know what, I don't like that. I'm going to get rid of the order. Okay. I want this candle. This candle needs to close green. It needs to close strong. I need to see follow through, right? I need to see follow through to give me the confidence to add. Ideally, I'd like to see this high get cleared, but I'm going to be a little more aggressive, and I'm just going to wait for the blue line to get compromised a second time. But if we can't do it, I don't add. Because, again, this thing may go to the stop. Remember, I'm on a 1 minute now. These are also very noisy. You know, it's 4 o'clock. The stock market's closed. This is usually when this market, the volume dries up here too. in these markets, and it's usually not worth getting involved in. But that's why, like, I wanted to go straight into this and to see if there was any opportunity. If you think about it, since I've been watching this, we've just gone lower. So there was some movement. I'm just on the wrong side of it because I'm taking counter trend trades, which, you know, I knew going into this was going to be trouble, right? I mentioned that. We may get stopped out this time. Let's see. It's right there. That's a nasty candle. Yep. All right. So bang it out. That's it. Let's check out the paper trade. I'm all, is that right? 124. And what was before that? 140. So I lost over $200 on that. Okay. And that's my daily loss limit. So it's a little over. It's not $200 exactly. It's a little over. It's like 250 or whatever. But I'm not going to keep going. That's 25% of the account or whatever, right? So like I said before, I'm taking counter trend trades. So one thing I can do, again, as a rule, is when I'm doing counter trend like this, smaller size, no 10 contracts, no 5 contracts, 1 or 2, maybe 3 max. If I'm going counter trend, if it's working, I can add another 3. That's the rule for counter trend. See, when I talk about the Trade Scanner Pro, usually I don't talk about sizing and I don't give really any sizing examples. But if I'm going to take real money trades, you're going to have to see how I manage sizing, because that's a really key part of the whole thing. Okay, yeah, what a lousy move there. So, all right, no problem. Let's take a look here. Now, I'm just curious. Let's take a look. Were there any short signals? Plenty of counter trend. By the way, when we have the new script rules, a lot of these trades will not, like all of these trades that appeared here, most of them probably would have been filtered out when we have the new rules in place. To avoid like those constant, it keeps calling trades and it keeps failing. There'll be certain rules in place to filter many of those out. One trade may still get in there, but you won't have 3 or 4 in a row, right? Most of those should be filtered out. So, all right, no problem. This is the 30-second. There are no short trades here. How about, let's just see anything on the 5-second. Oh, look, there was one on the 5-second. 5 seconds. There was this one. Look at that. That one may have worked out nice. This thing reports a profit of 9.6 points. That's assuming it went to the profit objective. The trailing stop may have kept this thing going, right? So I have to look at a 5-second chart, you know, to get these trades. That's going to be tough, especially for newer traders. But if that's what I have to do to get on the side of the momentum, then that's what I have to do, right? So I will do this with the real money. So like right now, I'm not going to do it because I've reached my loss limit, and I have to respect that. But if I was still able to play, I mean, I'm on paper. I can take another trade if I want to, but I want to respect the loss limit. In reality, you know, again, the next time, like I said, if we have like a pop-up like this, I should be working on the short side. And what I should be doing is I should be trying to align as much as I can with the momentum, right? And that momentum was pretty clear going into this, right? The momentum was bearish. Like I said, remember at the beginning of the stream, supports are likely to break, remember? But there were no signals. So to get signals, I would have had to have gone, this is pretty much the only signal. This one right here, this is pretty much the only signal we got the whole session. Because I started around, what time was it? I started around just after 3 o'clock. Well, this is the 5-second chart. Okay, so there were a number of signals on that 5-second chart. Yeah, let me open up this chart a bit here. So I started around here somewhere. Okay, so when we started watching, it was probably like when it was doing this, right? And then we had this pop up off the support, and I started looking for longs, right? On the counter trend mode. If I had been in trend mode on a 5-second chart, which again, I'm not a big fan of 5-second charts, these are where the short signals were appearing, See that? And since the momentum, the bearish momentum is dominant, not all of them worked. I mean, look, this one stopped out, right? That was a loss of 4.7 points, another 4.7 points, right? This one lost 4.3 points, but this one is probably not a losing trade. That one probably just stopped out because of the after the fact candle. This, well, actually, no, it popped up a bit there. But this is the kind of situation that, I mean, look, it stops out and then it continues, right? So it's more of a function of momentum. Look at this situation here. So let's just say we took all of those, right? So let's round it to 5 points. So 5, 10, 15 point, right? Losing, what's this here? 5.2. So 20 points. And then you have this one, a winner of 7.8, right? So you're making almost all that back. This one stops out. No, this one was a profit of 8.9. So just between these two trades right here, this one and this one, you made most of that money back, right? And then this one, 9.6. So this one actually puts you in the green. And here's the thing. These are not accounting for the trailing stop, right? And this thing so far would be a pretty big win on the trailing stop. If I were, in fact, we can play this back real quick, right? That might be helpful. So let's go to the replay, right? And let's just play this one back, so we can see what it looked like on the time on a 5-second chart. So as I play it back, we can see the signal pop up. There's the signal. Okay. By the way, to replay on this time frame, man, all right, so the signal was here. To replay on this time frame, you need the most expensive version of TradingView. Let's see how this thing plays out. So it reaches the profit objective, right? Notice the trailing stop kicks in. As we know, this trade goes a lot lower, right? So the trade result that you see on these historical trades, this right here assumes the profit objective, not the trailing stop. So look at the trailing stop. Okay, let's see how far that goes. Man, so it goes beyond the profit objective. So if I had taken that short, oh man, look at that. Wow. I should have stuck to the short side, huh? My God. It's a good thing I respect my daily loss limit. Man, it went to the next support. Look at that. Man, so that captured most of the, so that closed, and it's even lower than that. So that closed like around here somewhere, right? Just above this line. Let me just replay that again. That was pretty amazing. So I just want to measure it, in terms of P&L. Just goes to show, when you're on the right side of the momentum. Right? So let's just see where that goes again. So it stops out around here somewhere. Let's see. So that's around, I'm just going to draw like a line there. It's just around here somewhere. Goes a little bit lower. All right. I want to measure that line. Let's just see where it stops out. You got that line right there. It's about still there, same area. Okay. Does the trailing stop move from there? It should. Okay. The trailing stop should have moved. Actually, this thing should still be in. But all right, let's just be fair. And let's just say here. Let's just say it got tapped out here for whatever reason. That line right there. Okay. Even though it's a lot lower. Let's measure that. So that was 79 points. Okay. 79 points on a 5-second chart. So all of these little losing trades, right? I was minus like 20 points here or something like that, 15 points. Between these 4 trades, I was minus 20 points if I was following these. And then I started to make it back here, right? And then you get a winner like this, and then you ride that winner, 79 points. And it's still running. Okay, I picked this price because for whatever reason, the trailing stop popped out there, but I don't think this popped the trailing stop. I don't think it touched it. So if I was still in this thing right now, let's just say I was still in it, it's 157 points in 15, 20 minutes or whatever that was. So that's really like the power of the trail of the Trade Scanner Pro. You know, like, man, that was pretty nice. And I don't have, and look, I'm still on the 5 second. I haven't gotten a new signal since. And this thing is just getting hammered. Look at this thing. It's just getting hammered, right? Pretty amazing. So that's just, again, it just goes to show, like, when you, the side of the momentum has the greater probability. So counter trend from the start, you know, you're going against that, which means certain things like smaller size. I should have just done smaller size, and then I can still play, right? One or a couple of contracts, take a couple of losing trades. Okay, no big deal. Nowhere near my daily loss limit, and I can continue to play. Maybe I would have been in a better position to capture this, but now that this move is in play, like, I can't do anything now. Even if I was still allowed to play, I wouldn't chase this, and I'm not going to go for counter trend now. I'm just going to wait for the next trend trade. That's what I would do if I was still able to play. Does that make sense? Man, what a move. I wonder what Bitcoin is doing. If this thing got hammered like this, all right, let's get out of this here. If this thing got hammered like this, let's go back to our 1 minute. What a move. See, and again, respecting the stop, man. Let's go to our double charts here. My God, look at that! Out of nowhere, there must be some news or something. Let's just take a look at Bitcoin here real quick. Let's go to well, we can go to actually Bitcoin perp. Coin. So do you guys like that I'm going straight to the trades and I'm not talking about any other stuff? Bitcoin's at 94, what? 94.7. Interesting. 800 million liquidated. You know, it's funny. I saw some, people are just, you know, people are just mindless these days. I saw some garbage on Twitter yesterday about how Microsoft and Amazon, the board is considering to add Bitcoin to their treasury. And there was all this nonsense about that. And meanwhile, Bitcoin wasn't moving. And I'm like, this must be priced in. And they were saying, oh, big news, blah, blah, blah. And Bitcoin wasn't moving. So it's like, imagine the fool that read that news. Oh, this is big news. Amazon is they're gonna add Bitcoin. That means Bitcoin is gonna go to millions of dollars. I'm gonna be a millionaire. I better buy it right now. And here we are at 90. Welcome to 94K. Right? All the geniuses out there. Oh, this will be at 200K. Don't worry about it. I don't think so. You just bought the top of the top. Welcome to the top, as Jerry Seinfeld would say. So, yeah, interesting. So again, this game is about risk. You know, I could sit here and I can criticize all the nonsense out there, but like I wrote in my article yesterday, there's just so many signs of just it's overdone. The fact that we had that outside bar on Bitcoin from 104 to 91K, like in an hour, most of that move was done, just tells me that this is full of hot air. This is just nonsense, a lot of it. And as soon as they pull that rug, as soon as whatever, one little piece of news comes out, I mean, you get this situation, right? I mean, we're at 94, we're at 95.8. I mean, this thing is all over the place right now. But what I'm saying is it's going to be very sensitive to any type of catalyst, any kind of negative catalyst. There are too many longs in this thing. And this is what happens. I mean, this year was that 94K move right here. I mean, sorry, the 91K. 91K. It went from like 98 to 91. I was looking at this in like an hour. Okay. That right there is a huge red flag. It shouldn't do that. If it's so strong, it shouldn't do that. So what happened since? We got the lower high, right? All the geniuses. Oh, it recovered. I'm going to be a millionaire. I'm going to order my Ferrari now. I'm going to order a lime green one because all my fake gurus drive lime green ones. I'm going to order one because I'm going to be a millionaire tomorrow. Okay? I'm just saying. It's about the risk. And when the froth is out there and everyone's going to be a millionaire and all the YouTubers, millionaire, and Michael Saylor on every single thumbnail, you're asking for trouble. Okay? That's all I can tell you. Like, and if you're not someone that can see that, I know most of you follow me, you know the story. But you get these people that criticize me. It's like, man, if you can't see that, I can't help you, man. You're on your own. Have fun. Kai says, all I can say is, who needs a TV if you always entertaining? Yeah. Yeah, I'm telling you. I mean, it's just, understand, this is all about, when it gets like this, it's really all about just having a good grasp of the herd mentality. And when there are signs everywhere of just people all doing the same thing and thinking the same thing, chances are the party's over. Especially when you can count 5 waves, you know, like a fifth of a fifth wave. Like I said, I mean, I'll show you my chart real quick, like what I was referring to on Bitcoin. Right? This is the weekly chart on Bitcoin. Okay? This is the weekly chart. In fact, I can do it on a monthly chart. This is the monthly chart of Bitcoin. And basically, what I've assessed is that this here, right? This peak over here from what way back when, in 2021, that was the top of the first wave 1. Then we got wave 2, the bottom, 15K. Remember that? Okay. Now, this move since then is wave 3, and it fits all the criteria. And inside of that wave 3, we have 1, 2, 3. This consolidation from March is wave 4, and this fits right into wave 5. So if we have a 5th wave of a gigantic 3rd wave, what do you think comes next? So that's my argument. And again, I can't forecast that. I don't know. I mean, Bitcoin may run to 110K first. I don't know. I don't pretend to know. But what I can say is the risk increases. The chances that this thing pulls back to 70K over the next 6 months is within reason. So you can use that to gauge risk. Now, if you're someone who says, oh, I'll buy $10,000 worth right now, and if it pulls back 30%, I can handle it. Okay, you can handle it. But if you're one of these clowns that thinks it's going to go to 200K and you can't handle a 5% pullback, or then you're playing the wrong game, right? Then you should, if the risk is that high and you can't handle that kind of heat, you should not be playing that style. You should not. Investing is like where you assume the most risk. Great for day trades, though. Plenty of opportunity for day trades and swing trades. But my point is, the risk on these large time frames, the risk, this is like basically the minimal risk, the standard, like the average risk right now that you should be assuming or anticipating. Risk means if it goes the wrong way, 70K is a good place where it can go. Like, that's a reasonable objective, which would be a great place for investing again, or putting some more money to work. But what a surprise, we see correction around 100K after 5 or 6 massive green weeks. Well, yeah, sure, Kai. I mean, whenever we make all highs, right, I'm always suspect at highs, always. I get criticized a lot for that because, you know, all the bulls come out, all the geniuses come out at the highs, and you're going to go higher. Hey, this is Michael Saylor comes out at the highs, How much you want to bet he's selling? No, he's buying. He's putting these bond things together, and he's MicroStrategy, and they're gonna drive this thing to $1 million. Right, because he wants you to be rich, right? So he comes out, he lets the world know what he's going to do so that you can front run him, right? So that he can buy Bitcoin at worse and worse prices and you can sell it to him, right? People just don't get it, right? That's what you're dealing with. So what's happening here with all these experts and all these big names is nothing new. They come out at the top, they get the public excited, and the public lets them out. And the public they take all the risk and they get stuck. These guys aren't doing us any favors. You need to understand that's how this game works. This is nothing new. And in this space especially, there's no law, right? Like with stocks, there's like the SEC gets involved. Here, I'm watching people on live streams pump meme coins, literally on the live stream, saying, buy this coin now because I just bought $1 million worth. Buy it now because I'm about to buy more. So these morons buy it, and guess who's selling it to you? So when you can do that, when you see stuff like that and you can get away with stuff like that, this is the time right now with these kind of moves in Bitcoin. This is, never mind altcoin season. This is scam season. This is sucker season, because this is when all the suckers come out and all the scammers come out to meet them. That's what this is. So to avoid all that, I mean, man, look at this Ethereum. To avoid all that, you learn how to manage your risk. You keep your risk smaller. Like day trades are beautiful. I've been like messing around with like Ethereum and Bitcoin. The stuff that's going on in these smaller time frames is great, right? Because there's a lot of liquidity. There's a lot of people doing a lot of stupid things. And when you have that, you can, if you know what you're doing, you can capitalize on it while keeping your risk minimized and not being exposed to stuff like what's happening right now. Because again, if this thing breaks, you have a double top, you have like a double top failed high situation up here. This thing breaks, it's not going to be pretty. And I know people have a hard time believing it's going to break, but anything can happen, especially in these with all the hot air. Okay, does that make sense? All right, you guys, so I know I'm talking a lot, but I'm not taking any more trades. So we learned some lessons today, and we got some new rules, or not new rules, but we got some rules that I'm going to apply in my next stream. Hopefully, my next stream, I will take Ethereum for real, with real money, right? And I'll start with a $1,000 account, right? And hopefully I don't wipe out the account. So, but we're going to do it with these money management plans in mind, where I'm going to, on counter trend, I'm going to take smaller size, right? So I don't run into this. Okay, cool. So again, I want to make these streams productive for you, and I want you to learn stuff for them so you can apply this to your own experience, right? Now, if you're interested in the Trade Scanner Pro, if you happen to be new to the stream, there's a link in the description. Also, I can just show you real quick. I can just show you the website. If you go to that link in the description, it takes you to this page. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this, but you can sign up for it here for 14 days. It's free for 14 days. After that, for the year, you pay $270, or it's $30 a month. And you can cancel that anytime before the 14 days. All right. And I encourage you to give it a try. Now, if you're a beginner, you're going to need some work with that. Watch my previous streams. You'll gain some insight. But like I said, we're working on a very important update that's going to make it much more intuitive and much more user-friendly and less confusing. Because right now, it's confusing. And I realize I'm expecting too much from the user to input on their own. So we're going to change that so that it's less work for you, more intuitive, and I'll be able to show you on here. And we're going to use it to work on the $1,000 account, right? So I can show you just like I showed you here, and we'll just jump to this, right? So you guys like the format, right? So next week when I start, we'll just go right into the trades. I'll do the economic calendar, and we'll jump right into the trades. If I get any questions about like other things like analysis, blah, 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 and we have time, like right now I'm not taking trades, like I could answer some questions here and there. But you guys like that, right? Jump right into the trades. I mean, everyone seemed to like it earlier. You guys still watching? So I'm going to jump right into the trades. Right, man, has Ethereum hasn't bounced yet, has it? Where's this thing at? What is going on here? Look at that. Are my charts broken? Oh no, it is. It is okay. It's changed. I was going to say, what is going on? It's bounced. Nice little bounce there. My chart must be frozen. Is that a short? Yeah, that's a short. Interesting. That's a 30-second short. All right. Cool. All right, you guys. So you know how to sign up and all that other stuff. I hope to see some guys on the Trade Scanner Pro. If you have any questions, you know where to find me, mark@markpremarkets.com. You can also send me messages on TradingView. Also, just wanted to mention, if someone sends you a message as me, right, whether it's on Discord or anywhere else, Twitter, that for that matter, and they look like me and they're asking you for money, or they send you to a strange website, that's a scammer. And right now, there are a lot of scammers out there. So please be aware. I do not initiate contact, and I don't ask you for money on private messages or anything like that. The only site that I would send you to is the Market Signals Pro, but I wouldn't even do that. I wouldn't say, hey, John, how are you? Go to my website. Like that's called, that's spamming people. I don't do that. I don't send out unsolicited messages. If you reach out to me, I will answer, but I don't reach out to you first. All right. So if someone does, just letting you know, they're a scammer, block them, report them, and all that stuff. We have a channel for that in Discord. If you need help, by the way, with the Trade Scanner Pro, like setting something up or whatever, we have a support channel for that as well. There's a link in the description. I just want to mention, I notice a lot of beginners when they sign up for this, they don't realize that these settings are turned off when you first get the Trade Scanner Pro. So you have to turn them on. We're going to change that so that they're turned on automatically. All right, but that's not set up like that yet. So right now you still have to turn the settings on, because I'll get a message from people saying, I got the Trade Scanner Pro, but it doesn't work. I'm not seeing anything on the blah, blah, blah. I'm like, well, have you turned on all the things? Oh, right. So I thought people would just know how to do that, but they don't. Anyway, we're fixing that. Just wanted to let you know. Okay, cool. All right, you guys. So I don't see anything on the chat here. I don't see any questions. Thank you for watching. I hope you got something out of the stream. Enjoy the rest of your day, the rest of your evening, wherever you are in the world. And again, thank you for watching.